Now at 6, a Gresham police officer is set to be arraigned this morning on dozens of charges related to child sex abuse. What we know about the case and the officer being charged. Plus.
And Portland Fire and Rescue responded to fires both in northeast and southeast Portland overnight. We'll tell you what challenges they faced. Plus.
Wow, we once spent 5 hours here without even knowing we spent 5 hours here.
Time flies when you're having fun, right? And there is lots of fun to be had at this place, an arcade in Hillsboro that Newsweek named the best in the U.S. We're going to take you inside coming up at 6:45.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us on your Friday. I'm China Green.
Can you say that last word again?
Friday.
I'm Drew Carney. Rod Hill, also excited about the Friday.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yes, this move only comes out on Friday.
And then surprised we're to August. It feels like August. What's your take on that? Does it feel like August?
It feels like it's March 7th.
Wow. That was not the take I was looking for, but very interesting. Here's a look at the Chehalem Tasting Room camera. Our Cracker Jack staff finding the rising sun. It's underneath these clouds. The sun is on the way up right now, but what a beautiful shot, 57 degrees. Generally, we are partly cloudy. Here's the Wells Fargo building. There's the rising sun trying to make an appearance right there, and we are at 60 degrees. So all systems are go for a really nice Friday. Overall, here in Portland and up into Vancouver, Salem, you get a lot of sun, but Portland's been cloudier than Salem the last couple of days. We'll get more sun today than we have been seeing. 72 at noon. I have the high temperature up to about 84. Warm, but a really nice day. That's your forecast.
Thank you, Rod. All right, 6:01, and here are your drive times. They're looking pretty good this morning. Friday light, I think Chris McGinnis calls it. Main Street to I-405, going to take you 8 minutes. It's pretty quick, actually. And then Patton Parkway, you guys are going really fast at 69 miles per hour, but it's going to take you 10 minutes.
All right, top story here at 6 o'clock. Portland firefighters were busy overnight dealing with 2 big fires in just over 2 hours.
The first fire happened at an abandoned warehouse in northeast Portland, the second in a residential neighborhood in southeast. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz joins us live from the Elliott neighborhood and has the latest on both. Thomas?
Hey, good morning, guys. And yeah, this warehouse behind me, Portland Fire and Rescue says, is 5,000 square feet large, where they responded to that fire early this morning. You can see those windows blown out. This opening where they're covering with plywood right now, Portland Fire and Rescue actually had to remove plywood to get inside the building as they work to extinguish this fire. They were also worried that this fire could spread to neighboring buildings. That's the reason they called in more units overnight. The most challenging thing, again, of this fire was actually just getting inside the building. That's because of how intense it was. Portland Fire and Rescue says aerial crews first poured water on the fire above. Crews working on restoration right now tell us there's actually holes in the ceiling of the building now after that firefight. Eventually, again, firefighters were able to remove the plywood covering windows and cut holes in garage doors as well to get inside and access the fire. Once they did, they were able to quickly extinguish it. But again, it was a really busy night. After that, they then went down to southeast Portland into the Lentz neighborhood. That's where Portland Fire says a shed was on fire and a teenager, when they arrived, was unaccounted for. Once crews got there, they saw fire on 3 sides of the shed. And again, just like they were here in northeast Portland, were worried that it would spread to other buildings and other homes down there in the Lentz area. Fire crews were able to extinguish the fire and fortunately find the missing teen. Both of those fires happening in just the span of a couple of hours. Fortunately, nobody was hurt. Both are under investigation, and crews here that are restoring this building are trying to bring it back to some semblance before covering it with plywood again. Tell us that fire crews had to leave here pretty quickly to get to that one down in southeast Portland. Once again, busy night for Portland Fire, but nobody injured. Drew, China.
Thomas Schultz reporting live for us this morning. Thank you, Thomas. Hey, overnight, Portland Fire and Rescue also responded to a car that rolled into a high voltage security fence on Northeast Marine Drive. Take a look at your screen right here. When crews got there, they were able to turn off the electricity to the fence and get the driver out of the car, but they had to be taken to the hospital for treatment.
Parts of Gresham are still under a boil water notice this morning. A temporary loss of water pressure may have caused harmful bacteria to enter the city's water supply. The notice impacts residents in the Kelly Creek neighborhood and some nearby areas. People there should boil their water for a full minute, then let it cool before using it for drinking, cooking, and brushing their teeth. The city says the notice will stay in effect until testing confirms that the water is safe again. There's more information about this on the City of Gresham's website.
A Gresham police officer is set to be arraigned this morning on more than 50 charges related to sexual conduct with an underage girl. Hector Carranza was arrested yesterday afternoon, and he faces charges including rape, sex abuse, and using a child in display of sexually explicit conduct. Carranza has been with Gresham Police since 2014. In a statement, Gresham Police said that they first received a complaint back in November of last year. The department immediately placed Carranza on leave and requested an outside agency investigate. Oregon State Police and the Multnomah County District Attorney's Office are handling the case.
Police in the Dalles are trying to figure out how human remains wound up inside an abandoned storage locker. The person who bought the locker reported finding the remains on Tuesday, and after searching the U-Haul facility on West 6th Street, investigators confirmed the remains were human. The medical examiner will release the person's identity after an autopsy.
After more than 30 years, the Polk County Sheriff's Office has ended its marine patrol program on the Willamette River. The sheriff says a 30% cut in state Marine Board funding, totaling about $24,000, made it impossible to keep the program going.
You're looking at a small amount for, basically running a full-time person out here. Taking 3 deputies to make that one full-time person, that's not a realistic amount of money to deliver the product that they want us to deliver.
The Marion County Sheriff's Office will take over patrols, but their budget has also been cut, so you may not see as many boats out as before. The dispatch center is still the same, so if you call for help, someone will respond.
4 Alaska Airlines flight attendants are suing Boeing. All 4 were on board last year's flight that experienced a door plug blowout over Portland. In June, the NTSB found Boeing responsible for that incident. Investigators cited lapses in safety, as well as proof that the door plug was removed for maintenance and was missing bolts after it was reinstalled. Just last month, a group of passengers on board that flight settled their billion-dollar lawsuit against Boeing and Alaska for an undisclosed amount.
Starting today, campfires will be banned on all land in Northwest Oregon managed by the Bureau of Land Management in an effort to reduce the risk of wildfires. So the ban covers areas from Columbia County all the way down to northern Douglas County. Portable stoves, smoking, off-road driving, and electrical tools are also off limits. These rules are in addition to any fire restrictions already in place, so make sure to check what's allowed where you are.
I know camping is a huge activity for a lot of our viewers, right? Yeah. But I also feel like I know my teammates. You, China, you, Rod, like myself, not into camping, right? Is that safe to say?
It's not for me. Not a camping girl.
Rod?
I mean, we camped all the time when I was a kid.
But these days, do you want to sleep in a tent with no sleep or with nothing underneath you but a sleeping bag?
I need a bathroom.
I'm just too lazy to camp, to be honest. I don't have the energy. All right, here's our Chehalem tasting room camera in Sherwood. There's the rising sun right there. If you are just waking up and joining us, we expect more sunshine, at least here in the North Valley, Portland and Vancouver today than we have been seeing. We'll easily warm up into the 80s. Right now we're at 57 degrees. It's a nice dry morning. We have light winds, partly cloudy looking at downtown Portland from across the Willamette. 60 is our current temperature. Here are the other numbers. These are, what we're used to. You just don't see much variance in morning temperatures this time of the year. 55 up in Battleground, downtown Portland, just updating to 60 even. It's 59 down in Salem. And the forecast map for today does show temperatures warming up to about 72 at noon and then 75 at 1 o'clock. And then we'll go on to be, I think, in the mid 80s for highs this afternoon. Mid to upper 80s down in Salem and Albany for actual highs. This shows you 6 p.m. temps. We do expect partial clearing most beaches, maybe all of them. It's cloudy at the coast right now. And again, there will be scattered thunderstorms start to pop later today in central and eastern Oregon, but just not the number of storms that we have been seeing, to the point that the red flag warnings for high fire danger have been allowed to expire. So thunderstorm chances, yes, not as much activity as we have been seeing. 7 days, incredibly comfortable. Again, today's August 1st, 84 today, a lot of sun. Tomorrow, morning clouds, then afternoon sun and 81. Could be morning clouds on Sunday, partly cloudy, 77 during the day, and a comfortable start to next week as well, and that is your 7-day.
Thank you, Rod. Hey, we have breaking news right now in Battleground. Here is a live look. A family of 4 is safe after a fire at their home. So this is a look at the 5,200 square foot home, still smoking. after it caught fire around midnight. It originally got called in as a Tesla battery fire, but the fire chief says they don't think that's the cause, but we will keep you updated when we learn more information.